All right, cool. So I was talking to one of my buddies, and she said she actually I know her from when I used to work at Gold's Gym
Mhm.
in McAllen. It's a town down where I'm at, and you can kind of see already the pictures already starting to pixelate because the light outside is going down.
Yeah.
But I messaged her because she's now living in Amsterdam, and she said she saw you, and I was like,
Are you serious? Wait.
yeah, she met you. She met you. She's like, I met Jeff in Amsterdam, and I'm like, that doesn't. What? Huh?
Is it steady?
Yeah, Sadie.
How the hell did that happen?
That's crazy, isn't it?
Oh my god!
Isn't that so crazy?
What the hell? Yeah, I was like sitting across the table from her.
And she came up to you, or she didn't tell me the whole story, but I was messaging her earlier, and she's like,
So I went to Amsterdam, and there was like a meetup. I was like, I'm gonna go, and then like Seti knows somebody in common, and so she shows up, and we just start like talking, like no big deal. And then like halfway through, I just realized now she mentions your name, and I was like, how do you know Daniel Tapia, right?
yeah, right.
What are the odds that you're so famous that like halfway around the world, somebody goes, I grew up in the same city as Daniel Tapia or something like that. And she brings up your name, and like, that's fucking weird.
I thought that was the weirdest thing too. I was like, wait a minute. Jeff was in Amsterdam and he didn't say anything?
I didn't say nothing.
That's so funny. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was the funniest thing alive. I just thought it was hilarious. So we're already on live. So let's just Jeff, we've already been talking a little bit. So kind of give us a little bit of backstory for us, for the people that don't know about you. Now I can go days and days and days about talking about you, but it was so funny how we first met. Where did we first meet? Was it AdCon or at Funnel Hacking Live?
So did we meet at AdCon 1 or at AdCon 2?
Two. Did you go to AdCon 1?
I went to AdCon 1, yeah, but I don't think like we like talked or whatever.
No, I didn't go. So where did you stay at AdCon 1? Like, who did you stay with, and like, what did you do?
AdCon 1, I stayed with Nat and John something. I totally forget his last name. I remember his Facebook profile. And like 4 or 5 other people is like part of like that crew, right? Like from AdCon 1 and all that. Yeah. And then we all ended up doing like a group chat, and then McKinsey was there, I remember, and then like 4 or 5 other people. And then we ended up going to AdCon 2 and the same crew that went there. And then that time we got like a massive mansion or something like that. That was like 30 minutes away. That was too far. And then I think you and I actually synced up at the ClickFunnels house, right? Or no, you didn't go to the ClickFunnels house. Did you?
No. I was with JR and some e-commerce guys.
Okay, yeah. So I didn't go there. So we hung out in the AdCon 2 mansion, right?
Right.
And that's when you and JR were taking your photos in the back.
That's what I was gonna say. Oh man, I think Jeff is gonna bring up the idea that we were baby lotion each other outside.
Yeah, that was awkward.
It was hilarious.
Yeah, that was weird. It's like, what are those 2 beefcakes doing? Oh, okay, and then just shut the curtains.
Yeah.
So I think it was like December 2016, January 2017. That's when I started like my Facebook ads journey, right? And that's when. So what happened? Okay, backtrack.
Tell me a little bit of backstory, because I remember we were talking a little story about you, your girlfriend at the time, a dog, and your parents.
Yeah. Okay. So my goal in life when I was like mid-20s, like you're always like, where am I supposed to be when I'm 30? And I was supposed to be like a consultant, like a Lean Six Sigma strategy consultant, and like I got accepted to like MBA program in Washington, St. Louis. I was at University of Chicago, and I ended up getting a 3-month internship turned 18-month internship at Intel. And I only studied like strategy and marketing and operations, like Lean Six Sigma consulting, like from client to customer to like the sales operations, the whole thing, right? Yeah. And after I essentially like got kicked out of Intel because I stayed an 18-month internship, was supposed to only be 3 months, but whatever. And so I went back to my MBA school, and I got poached to work for Ericsson. And when I got to work for Ericsson, I was like, this is my forever company. Like the first girl you fall in love with, right? Like that's it. This is it. Nothing else. And then in 3 months, I got fired. And then they hired me again. And then 3 months later, I got fired. Then they hired me again. And then 3 months later, they fired me. So in 9 months, I got fired 3 times from the only real job I ever had. The girl that I was dating said, I am breaking up with you and I'm moving to India, right? And then I had to move out of my apartment. and the car lease was up. And so I was like 31 or 32. I had gone from, oh my God, I'm like the Lean Six Sigma strategy consultant. I've got the bomb ass job, and I was traveling, like I was going to fly to Switzerland and stuff like that, or Sweden. And then moving back home to live in my parents' spare bedroom and being an unemployed 31-year-old. And like, I could not find a job at all. Like the economy was booming, but nobody wanted to hire me. And I remember I spent like my birthday flying across the country trying to like interview at different jobs where I had some connection. And it was like, no, 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 all the way through. And I tell you what, when the universe says life is going to suck for like 3 months, there's no fighting it. Like life is going to suck. But then I ended up like moving back into like this office, and I said, what the hell am I going to do? So I called back like some old customers when I built websites. Like everyone in the digital marketing space built websites, right?
Right.
And I called and was like, hey, did you want another website? They go, yeah, great, fine, perfect, let's do it. And after like my third or fourth website, I finally felt confident enough to put digital marketing on my Facebook page. And then it was like Dan Henry, Dan Henry, Dan Henry, Dan Henry, like straight forever. And for like 90 days, I ignored it. And on the 91st day, I bought. And it was like Christmas or something like that. I said, fuck it, let's do it. I was in a Starbucks and stuff like that. And then January 2017, I officially started my journey. And that's how you and I got synced up. And that's how I ended up meeting you, McKinsey, Sema, Nick Robbins, JR, like that whole crew. It was like Dan Henry's crew, right? But like the first part of like my Facebook ads journey is literally everything like was shitty and horrible and the worst thing in the world. Like, how could you be 30 and get fired from the only real job you ever had 3 times? Like, how does that even happen, right? And like the details behind that is like, I had like a golden parachute, so I'm kind of sensitive to fire. So I'd be on a list I didn't know. I get there, the division was going to be laid off. I was assigned that division, so I was getting laid off. And I was walking out, HR would be like, just kidding, and like switch out the paperwork, right? And that happened once, that happened twice, then almost happened a third time. But after the third time, I was like, I'm like emotionally spent. I can't deal with this anymore. But it's been like a really weird journey. And it only really turned around because like, you know, like the crew, like people like you and McKinsey and stuff like that, like you really need that community and that culture and like the ability to have that conversation, which I wouldn't have had otherwise. But yeah, so the basic idea is like, I was supposed to be like that strategy marketing consultant. Like I've got the student debt for it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But life didn't work out that way. So I don't even know if I answered your question, but that's like the basic idea.
Yeah, you did. So I kind of wanted to see like what were you doing before? Because like when I met you, it was so funny because I was like, who's this lengthy, tall dude? Kind of looks like if I was in school again, he'd be the frat guy.
Yes, I'm a frat guy. 100%. Yeah.
It just so happened that both of us were in a fraternity as well as Andrew Cruzy, because I was like, dude, for some reason, remember we were walking down the street to go get freaking sandwiches. It was like 6 miles away, it felt like. Yeah. We were walking forever to go get sandwiches. And I'm like, all right, man, this tall dude. And then there's another tall dude, which happened to be Ryan. Yeah. I'm like, you guys are talking together. They're a little bit in the back. Let me see what's going on. And so when I was talking, I was like, man, this guy has to be like some type of CEO type. By the way you talked, I was like, this is crazy. I don't even. And when you were telling me all this stuff, I was like, huh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So that was like the basic idea. And for anybody watching, he's talking about how in like, it was AdCon 2 and we stayed at like this mansion. And like, there were people in that house that are doing like $100,000 a month that are now doing like 300 grand a month, like absolutely like amazing crew. And it was like you, me, and like 2 or 3 other people, and we're just walking along. And the weird part about like when you find tribe, that's the term, all of a sudden like it syncs up. And like all of us have like the same background. Like we're all in fraternities. Like we all did somewhat okay in college. And like, you know, like life happens, right? Yeah, right. And Andrew's got that story. I've got that story. I think you have the same story. Ryan has the same story. And now all of a sudden, like I've got a Facebook group with like 19,500 people, which I don't even understand anymore. Like, yeah, like I've got master classes every 2 weeks, which is crazy. I got one coming up with Steph Signs. We're doing this. I've got 2 pitch meetings next week with another shopping mall and a massage spa. So like, it's like weird how life is turning out, but yeah.
A shopping mall. So what kind of contract would that be looking at? Or what would you be doing?
That's the interesting part. Like, because I have like this like strategy background from the books, right? It's not like I earned my space. I'm just sitting on giants, right? Like what I found is that most people when you talk, like when you're saying like buy my Facebook ads, buy my marketing program, stuff like that, they immediately go, no, I don't want it, like not going to happen. And even if they do, they argue it down so much. But what I found is that when people have problems, they would pay unlimited money to solve those problems, because like for some reason, like that's their number one problem. Like, I can't accomplish my goal because of X and I don't know how to solve it, so that's why I'm not accomplishing my goal. That's their number one problem. And so one of the ladies that refers me business was like, I know this lady that was a marketing manager at shopping mall, you should pitch them. I was like, great, fine, perfect, let's do it. And so I've got this like whiteboard area. There's numbers on the room, but it's fine. And like that's my pitch room, right? Like the strategy sessions and all that whiteboard, big blocks, stuff like that. And I've done it so many times that like at one of the Chamber of Commerce's, some guy was like, you should talk to Jeff. And then the lady was like, you should talk to me. I'll introduce you to Jeff. And that's the lady that I pay referral fee to. And it turns out it's a marketing manager of like one of the big shopping malls that's seeing like a downturn in business, which is normal for shopping malls, up and down, right? And she's like, look, I really don't want to buy Facebook ads. I said, great, because I don't want to sell you Facebook ads. I want to know about the number one problem when it comes to your business. And so we did the onboarding session. I treat it just like a dentist's office or a doctor's office. Like, what's wrong with your knees? What's wrong with your teeth? What have you tried to do? What are your symptoms? Like all that stuff, like literally like asking them 20 questions. And at the end of that, like the way plastic surgeons do business is you say, I understand your problem. Like you repeat it 3 or 4 times. You say, I think I have a program that can solve this problem. Do you want to see how it works and how much it costs? And everybody says yes. And so that's like permission to pitch. And so I ended up pitching this shopping mall, and like they're actually, I didn't know this. I just thought it was like a shopping mall, right? It's just like a lady at a shopping mall. Turns out like they're part of like a trust that has like 19 other shopping malls all in the state of Florida. And the shopping mall itself has like 35 businesses in there. So like, right? Like this could be like the moment. Yeah. And so like I'm on email chains with like people who like have like CMO and CO and CEO on their names. I was like, right? So like,
yeah, right.
It's super exciting, but it's a shopping mall. And like I've got my hypothesis to like what they want to buy, and like they don't want to buy Facebook ads. They want solutions to their problems. And right now, like they've got like 5 or 6 empty spots. The problem with that is like that's their overhead or their margin, their profit. Like 5 or 6 out of 50 is like a big number. That's like they're taking a 10% hit that they don't want to. Right. So they're trying to find businesses that are okay with low foot traffic. And it turns out there are a lot of businesses that are okay with low foot traffic, like digital marketing companies and WeWorks and conference rooms and things like that. And
so let me just kind of understand this. I think probably someone coming in after is not going to understand the terminology. Yeah. So like foot traffic is basically people coming in the door. And so like you're saying like digital marketing agencies don't really need people coming through every single day. They're okay with just paying the fee to sit there.
Correct. So like when you know like a WeWork, right? Like the businesses that are there are not dependent upon people walking in and browsing. Like digital marketing company, you need somewhat quiet space, like maybe 3 or 4 people in a room. And so it's perfect for places that have bad parking, that have low foot traffic, and don't want people coming to the store. So I'm like, all right, great. So people like Jeff, that's the hypothesis in my head. And so I ended up winning this contract, and they've yet to pay. So I'm not doing any work, right? But yes, we're in. I'm like, great, where's the check? But I got it because I didn't talk about Facebook ads. I talked about like the onboarding documents was the biggest problem that they're having, like customer research, targeting the potential customers, figuring that whole thing out, and presenting people from that customer research an offer that they cannot refuse. And so like getting like the type of businesses that want that environment. And so that was like really interesting, which I would not have uncovered if I walked in and said, let me sell you Facebook ads. Right. So my philosophy, especially like in this room, has always been like, let me solve your number one problem. Usually their problems are related to customers, clients, or money, which Facebook ads solves. So like, that's like something that I think most Facebook ad agencies like miss out is like, yeah, let me sell you Facebook ads, when it really should be, let me use Facebook ads to solve your problem. But because of it, now I've got like a bike shop, a car wash, shopping mall, a couple chiropractors like everybody, a dentist coming up, maybe a massage spa that has 3 locations. So like things like that. It's like super exciting. But a lot of it is because of like, I've got a book somewhere by Ryan Levesque.
Yeah, the Ask one?
Yeah, the Ask book. Shit, it's somewhere. Like, now this is embarrassing. Here we go. So like, this is the book that like powers my customer research. So like anybody watching this, like just buy it. It's like $9 or free. And the end result is like, you never have to write your ads ever again. You will get your potential customers writing your ads for you. So that's always pretty cool. And I'm kind of like just feeling it. There you go.
What?
I'm just kind of like, right? I'm just like still talking. So,
You're breaking up a little bit.
internet lagging. Oh my God, that's horrible. Oh no.
Yeah, you were like you were like straight in there. I don't know, maybe I'm lagging, but I don't see you anymore.
No, it's probably me because like I got like the largest internet package ever and it
Okay.
still hasn't kicked in yet. So we're gonna see what happens. Hopefully it's fixed before my masterclass tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Yeah.
Yeah, let's see. Someone said great stuff, guys. Let me see. I don't even see who's commenting. When I'm using Be Live, I don't see who's commenting. Can you see?
Yeah. Let me take a look.
Hold on, let me take a look before we transition. Huh?
Jay Jackson.
Jay is the man.
Jay Jackson.
Yeah, Jay.
Oh yeah, I know this. This guy's on his way.
Yeah. I see him in Get Clients now.
Yeah.
Get Clients. Hey, so Jeff, walk me through because I remember what it was like to get my first client. Okay, so walk me through the process to get your first client and what the experience was, because I know some people right now are like, so you see the group, it's Facebook ads for fitness professionals and gym owners, right? Yeah. But as I know, most gym owners and personal trainers want that little side business, just kind of fuel their passion.
Yep.
Myself included, right? And it was like, I want to do this a little bit, but I don't know where to start. And what can I expect from like a new client, or what should I do? What did you do?
Yeah. So
I want to hear your story behind like how you got your first client, what industry, and what was the experience?
So I did the Curious Student like every Dan Henry student does. So like if you go back on my wall, January 2017, you can see like the Curious Student. It's like, hey, everyone, I'm taking a Facebook ads course. I want to do Facebook ads for free, blah, blah, blah. And I got like 10 people saying I'm interested. None of those turned into customers or clients. None of them. They were all like big balls of frustration and they didn't take it seriously. I didn't know what I was doing. So I don't like really include that, right? Like they couldn't even they weren't even doing Facebook, much less Facebook ads, but like whatever.
Right.
And so my first client was probably Scott Cohen. It's Cohen Chiropractic. I've known him for like 15 years because he saw that post. And then we didn't talk for like 4 months. And then all of a sudden he's like, can you do Facebook ads for me? I'm like, thank fucking God, right? So I charged him like $500 and that didn't even like cover the ad spend. But it was a good test. And that was the first time I saw stuff line up. Like we did the $21 special and then the landing page, the thank you page, the text notifications. And then he called me and said, this person called me and they're coming in tomorrow. I was like, oh my God, it worked. It was like the first time ever that anything worked. And so that was like kind of like my first client, but not really. But it was like really, really weird to be asking for money and asking for a check and things like that. The downside of your first client is you will always think they're the most amazing person in the world, that you have to bend over backwards, that you're getting married, and it's no matter what, it's because of you not doing a good enough job. Not them, it's your fault, right? That's never the case. That's almost never the case. Like your first client usually is like the worst client. You just don't know it yet. Like imagine like dating your first girlfriend again. You're like, I've grown so much. That's not a good idea, right?
Yeah.
It's the same way with your first client. But my first best client, like the first one where I pitched correctly, where I showed the plan correctly, where I onboarded correctly, like the first part of me solving problems, not selling a Facebook ads program, was the bike shop. And I on the inside.
How did you get to that bike shop? Like, cause I'm not one of those people that's just gonna be like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna go look for a bike shop to go pitch to.
Yep. Yeah. So I found that like when I take that approach, it always bombs for me. Like in my soul, like my bones say like, don't pitch, right?
Right.
And so what I did is I just go to Chamber of Commerce's. Like Chamber of Commerce's, BNI's, meetups, Eventbrite's, like wherever clumps of people are going that have problems you can solve and are willing to pay for the results you can deliver. That's like my philosophy. And so when I was like desperately looking for clients, that's where I would go to, like Chamber of Commerce's, BNI's. And you go, you meet and greet, you be a normal person.
Yeah.
Hey, my name is Jeff, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, what do I do? So thank you for asking. I'm super psyched to tell you. I do a Facebook ads agency. I'm starting a Facebook ads agency, growing a Facebook ads agency, whatever. Like your philosophy when it comes to growing your Facebook ad agency, whether you're a gym owner or a personal trainer client, like if you're looking for that client relationship, you want to be a normal person first that just so happens to do Facebook ads.
Yeah,
and
just so happens.
Yeah, just so happens. Like, just like you want a roofer you can talk to, not necessarily the most best amazing roofer. Like, you know that you don't need expertise. You need a normal person to have a normal conversation, and then they will solve the problems. And so that was really my philosophy. Like, go there, and you can do like 90 days worth of cold calling and cold emailing, cold door knocking in about 30 minutes. And you say hi to everybody. Hey, my name is Jeff, starting a Facebook ad agency, and then you don't pitch. That's it, right? Like, just like a doctor, lawyer, accountant doesn't like, I desperately want to do your books. Let me do your books. They don't talk like that, right?
Right.
And so you want to build an agency just like your parents think that they should have, which is go out, be a normal person, have a conversation. It just turns out there's a problem you can solve. You figure out a way to charge for it. And so that was like really my approach. And I ended up meeting the bike shop guy at a chamber of commerce, which was pretty cool. And we had a normal conversation. And his basic language is Spanish. My basic language, our first language, is English. So there's always like that like miscommunication, but we laughed about it and stuff.
Yeah.
And then we didn't, like, there was no follow-up on my part. There's no follow-up on his part. But he ended up just, my suspicion is looking me up on Facebook. Because for the vast majority of people, they're like, you're the Facebook guy. I'm looking you up on Facebook. Makes total sense. Like, you won't buy pastries from a skinny chef. You won't get personal training classes from a fat trainer. Like, that's just how your brain works, right?
Right.
So at this point, I had been documenting my Facebook ads journey enough. I did like, and anybody watching this can like go creep on my page. Like, I posted twice a week, and I had like introspective thinking, and I made posts that made sense and kept people up to date. So I was literally building up like my biography. So they didn't have to think I was suspicious. They just read the post, and all of a sudden they were like cool with it. And then he reaches out to my referral person who goes to the Chamber of Commerce. Is more like I go with her type thing. She brings him in. I do the pitch. And I said, well, Mr. Johnson, you're probably wondering how much this program costs. And he goes, yes. I said, well, when I was at Intel, you could hire me out for 6 months. And it cost $250,000, but nobody cared because they were getting lead sales and ROI, which is what you want. But I'm not going to charge you $250,000 over 6 months. If you go to New York style Mad Men agency, you'd have to probably pay about $150K upfront before they even talk to you on the phone, but I'm not going to charge you that. If you're going to downtown Miami to pay for someone else's Biscayne Bay views, and by then I still had drywall, right? So it's kind of like a joke on that. They charge you probably $55,000 and not guarantee their work. So this is what I'm going to offer you. I offer you 30 custom opportunities guaranteed. If you blah, 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 month to month, no long-term agreement, you pay $2,900 and then we'll take it from there. And he said, okay. And I was like, like inside, like I just, oh wait, did somebody just say okay? But I had to like outside be like, great, I'll just like saunter on over. And at this point, like I had like my laptop, which had all of like the FreshBooks stuff. So I had to like take out my camera and like click, right? Because I was recording it and like bring it over and type it in. But he said yes. And at that point in my life, I was like, I felt like I had lied, cheated, and stole. Like I had convinced a random stranger who had looked me up on Facebook, met me like a normal person, to pay me real life money for something I would have done for free 3 months ago. But that's part of like the Facebook ads journey. And whether like you're a personal trainer running ads for gyms or a personal trainer looking to run ads, very often when you start your personal training journey, that's the same idea. Like, I can't believe somebody's paying money to do this. I just work out anyway. I'm just talking to you the whole time. We're friends and I can't believe you're paying me. But that's how this whole thing works. And so like, to answer your original question, like the thoughts, feelings, and emotions were originally like disbelief. Like, I can't believe somebody's paying me money. Like, I saw it on like my mint.com app and I was like, this can't be real. So I don't go and like chase and be like, is this real? And I knew that it worked because Scott Cohen, like the tech worked. But it was just like absolutely mind-blowing nuts. And I imagine it's the same feeling of like, if you're a personal trainer and then somebody says, yeah, I'll pay your rate. And you're like, oh, no, let me give you a discount, please. Let me, right? But that's not how it's supposed to work. You're supposed to make enough money to where you can focus on their problems. And that was probably like, I think 12 months ago now, maybe 14 months ago. And since then, that one bike shop has been with me since then, has consistently charged more and more and gotten better results. Like last month, I think he made like $12,000 in bike sales because of us, which is like absolutely crazy.
Right.
And yeah, so like if anybody watching this, like the first thing that happens when you get your first client, or even like talking to your first client, the first thing that happens like in your soul and your bones, your body will force you to bring that dollar down all the time. Right. So what I do is I write it on the board. Like, it's really hard to write 300 because you can just add an extra zero and then it's $3,000 and then it's like, okay, right? But if you say 300, you can't say 3,000, right? So it was just like very easy to like just round it up and then cross out and put 2,900 or something like that. And so like the way I learned to work around my flaws as like a person learning to pitch and things like that was to write everything down, have the same pitch, and shut the hell up. Like very often when you're nervous, you fill in the blank and the person's just waiting for you to lower your price and you're like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. And so once I learned how to pitch correctly, like all that internal emotions of excitement and nervousness, that was on the inside. And it's been like crazy ever since. Like I have a car wash that has like 8 locations now and pays like a lot of money every month. I serve as like CMOO, that's Chief Marketing Officer outsourced. I've got like 118 students and a huge Facebook group, and like people come in on the daily basis just to hear me yell at them. Like they just like, Jeff, just yell at me for a bit and then I'll go do stuff. I'm like, you got it, yelling session, let's get this fucking thing started. And all of it is because like when I got started, I realized that like you, as a human, like you're not built to do an agency, you're built to survive, not thrive, right? You just got to recognize that your brain is going to lie to you a lot. And that's why you write stuff down. That's why you use a whiteboard. That's you record the sessions, and pretty soon people pay you a lot of money for it. So that kind of idea. Was that that was a long answer?
No, that's totally. I think it was pretty intense, and it's very, I guess, understanding to what you were supposed to like say to what the question was. So what did you like? Sure, like. Can you share with me like what you, because I remember what I did when, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So I remember what I did physically when I got my first client to say yes to 1,500 a month. I remember it was so funny because I had asked him, I was like, it's 1,500 a month. And he goes, okay, that's cool. Where do I pay? And I remember like muting the phone. And like, yes, I was in my car and I was like, yes, let's go. I was jumping up. I was like, holy crap. How do I get them to pay now? Like,
right.
I have to figure, like, I don't even want to get him to pay. I just want to turn off the phone and just accept the idea that he said yes. I don't even care about the money right now. All I care about is that he said yes.
Yep.
Like the money didn't even, it was so funny because like, I was like, crap. Now I have to ask for a credit card. Like he said yes to money, or they said yes to money. What did you do when he first said, oh, all right, let's do it?
Yeah. So it was simply like that. He goes, okay. And then I went, great. And so like the best part is like, so I've got like the desk. So this is like the table, right? Everybody sits in, right? And so my desk was like over there at the time. And so what happened is he said yes, and I had to walk away from him. And so my face was like, holy fuck, he just said yes. And you can see it in the recording because I'm walking towards the camera, right? And so I had to like cut that out because I always send the recording, but it was literally like, oh my God, like you do not believe it's happening. And like you see, the concept of money and you have to pay people money, but you've never had to say you owe me money for the thing that I'm going to do for you.
Right.
Like very often we hide behind the fact like, no, I got to charge you because like I've got a house or because I've got suppliers or because I've got stuff. Like that does not prepare you for I'm going to charge you because I'm going to do you a thing. Because up to this point in our careers and our life journey, we've done things for friends, right? Because you're a cool person. Now we're understanding of the client relationship where it's just me, Jeff Miller, I'm going to charge you for an end result. Just like doctors, lawyers, accountants do. But it was literally like that type motion. Like I just walked to, and like I wasn't prepared for it because up to that point, everybody said no, or they politely said like, I'll think about it or whatever. And I was the first person that said no at 2,900, which was the highest rate at that point that I charged. And so I didn't even have like FreshBooks, like the tab open. My camera was plugged into my computer, so I had to unplug everything. Like my computer half froze. I had to like open it up again, close it, open it up again, bring up FreshBooks. He gave me the credit card, like awkwardly waiting for me to like swipe it. And I'm like typing it in, like I'm going to steal the information and stuff like that. Right. And the charge went through and I was like, great, I'll get started tomorrow and keep a lookout for an email. He goes, awesome. And he just walks out. And I was like, is that how it's supposed to be? And that's exactly how it's supposed to be. Like, you're not supposed to continue the conversation. Like, this is the plan. This is the program. Do you want it? Yes. Okay, give me money. We'll get started tomorrow. And he said yes. I freaked out. But for the first time, I kept it inside, right? Which is like what I've learned to do. Right. But for anyone going on like their Facebook ads journey, you have to understand that you're gonna F up a lot. Just like the first time you went to the gym, like you didn't bench press correctly then, you didn't squat correctly, you didn't deadlift correctly. Like everything is injured the first time you deadlift, right? Like it's gonna happen. But you have to go back again and again and work through like the muscles that are unbalanced. You have to work through, and with the squats, because you didn't know that you have to like straighten your spine, and you're so used to like slouching over, like it's gonna suck. But after like the third or fourth pitch session, stuff lines up, the universe repays you, and you're documenting your journey, so they're going to look you up on Facebook anyway. And then people pay you money, which is still weird for me, to be honest. Like my car wash guy is coming later in the month and going to write me a big fucking check, and I don't understand it. Like people do it, and I'm kind of okay with it. So
right, it's so funny. So okay, so now, so we walked through your first client, where you were, where you came from, where you went to. Now, where are you like kind of at right now? Like kind of just a ballpark, just so people can get like that vision to see like, okay, where I'm at right now is not where I'm always going to be. What was that for? Like, what's the current right now for you that was like, holy crap, this is way more than I thought it was going to be?
Yeah. So that first feeling of like this, right? That first like feeling of a hockey stick where like the world lines up, you're in the zone, everything is cool. You just got to like run a little bit faster and all the numbers line up. So that was probably like 6 months ago when I ended up meeting my car wash guy who came in through a referral. That's how it's always worked for me. I've never run a Facebook ad that's gotten a Facebook ad client. They're just people that I happen to know or know of me. And I just meet them in person, all that's like Dr. Lawyer Accountant type businesses. And comes in, I give the same pitch, except instead of charging $2,900, I charge $4,900. And he goes, okay. I was like, all right, great. And so he signed and he said yes, and he paid. And then he came back a month later and said, hey, I think this is working. How about another location? I said, you got it. And then he came back a month later and said, how about another location? I said, you got it. It was the same exact thing. Say what?
At $4,900 each?
Yeah, there's more. And after a while, he goes, Jeff, like, I don't think you know who I am. And I was like, I have no idea. I think you're just like a normal guy. And it turns out he's like the former vice president of real estate for Marriott, and he's really good at setting up franchise, and that's what he's doing with these car washes. And he's like 100 before the end of next year. And I was like, I'm game. Let's do this, right?
Yeah.
And he said, could you do guaranteed customers? I said, what does that mean? He's like, look, when I'm doing these franchise packages, if I could say like, I need to say I have like a sign provider and a guy who does my staff. And if I could say that you do my marketing and that you're guaranteeing the phone calls or walk-ins or customers, something like that, then all of a sudden I could pay you a lot more. I said, you got it. Let's figure it out. And then he wrote a check for 10 grand, and then he did it again, and then he did it again. So like all of a sudden, very, very quickly, my agency went from like 10 to 20 a month to like at one point we're doing 50K a month. It was like absolutely nuts. It's the same program, same pitch, same everything. It's just that I finally found like the person that is like my dream client or customer, which is somebody who's doing this. And I just like make it a little bit easier for them to do that. And yeah, it's been absolutely nuts ever since. Like I do car washes in Woodlands, Texas. I do car washes in Charlotte, North Carolina. I do 2 car washes in Miami, 2 in North Palm Beach area, things like that. And it just works. And like the cool part about Facebook is you turn on, you turn it off again, you put money in, leads come out. And because you're tracking everything, you can like phone calls work. Like I think I just I just sent a phone call to my Bayside car wash, like right now, like stuff like that. So like having those really cool tools and techniques works. And another interesting part is like things like sneaky surveys, welcome text, soap opera sequences, like that automatic follow-up, being able to prove that the sucker works is like what genuinely works most times, which I didn't know about, that like we weren't taught about but I just read my way and failed forward. But yeah, like the weirdest part for me was doing these pitches one-on-one, people paying, that was like level 1, right? And level 2 was doing the same pitch to the same person and having him pay more and more and more each month. And he was psyched because he was getting that ROI. And now I'm approaching like a new stage, which is saying it's no longer $2,900, but $3,900 or $4,900, and you're getting less. And so I'm experimenting with that idea, and it'll probably happen with like the upcoming shopping mall massage parlor, which is they don't want me telling them what to do. Like they're higher, like on that food chain, they want something different. So like I'm gonna be testing a different program, things like that. But it's been a really, really cool journey. And like the first acceleration of that was my car wash guy. So there you go.
Wow, that's intense, dude.
Yeah.
And now real quickly, so not only have you grown the agency to up to 50K a month,
Yep.
also grown a group and just created a following that's like
Right.
diehard fans. Like
Like
I see
nuts.
you're a celebrity.
It's insane. So like I live on
Talk
my
to me about that. How did that go? And like where was that to the next part of it?
yeah. So January of this year, Andrew Crozy flies down from Ohio to Miami and yells at me for 45 minutes. It's like, Jeff,
Yeah.
I'm coming to your office. I was like, okay. So he walks in. I don't know him, just a normal guy. And he's like, Jeff, you need to start a group. And I was like, no. He's like, yes, you do. I was like, no. And he yelled at me for 45 minutes. I was like, fine, great, let's do it. So I wrote down everything. And I did like the Facebook version of what I was taught at Intel and Ericsson on how to like get people excited, motivating, and things like that. And I started my group March. In March, it was like 0 people. Like there was just nobody in my group because it was just empty. And it was actually Aubrey was like my second person in the group. I was just so ashamed of like having a group and I didn't know what to do with it that Aubrey was like the second person in the group. And I was like, Aubrey, I have to invite somebody. I'm inviting you. Let's just figure this out. She's like, okay, no worries.
Yeah.
And I opened the doors, and every day since I opened the doors, it's been about 100 to 150 people a day just joining, just randomly. I don't know who these people are. I'm not doing any paid ads. All I'm doing is stuff in the group that makes it worth joining. And I ask questions, and some people like, I saw on the banner, a friend of a friend, let's do this. I've heard of you, things like that. And I'm like, I don't know who any of these people are. But I walk around Miami Beach, which is where I live, and like 3 people said hi to me. And I was like, I'm cool. And they're like, no, I know your face. I was like, I don't know you. They're like, the interview. I was like, okay, right? Like,
butt cheeks guy.
Yeah.
The guy with the butt cheeks.
The guy with the butt cheeks on his cover photo.
Yeah.
And we're doing t-shirts soon. Like the first proof comes by tomorrow. So it'll be like a butt, and it says like Ask Fam as a hashtag and stuff.
Yeah.
And we did an in-person event, me, Andrew, Steph, and Arnie, and we got like 40 people in a room. That was pretty cool. We all did a little presentation, things like that. I talked about customer research. But without any paid ads, we've gone from 0 to 19,500 people. It's probably going to hit 20,000 before the end of next week, which is absolutely nuts. I have you're a part of the interview series. Like, like these people like commenting, engaging, like how are they asking questions, right?
Right.
And like, I'll just bring up another tab. So the upcoming interview, it's a dentist. He's got 3 dental companies. He's based out of like Ireland or something to that effect. And he and I chatted, like hit my calendar, was like, yeah, I don't know who you are. Let's talk. He's like, you got it. So I showed him like 2 or 3 things about customer research. And he's like, Jeff, you should know what happened. I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't know I fucked stuff up for you. He's like, quite the opposite. Like, I did what you said, and I turned about like $500 in ads into 90 grand. It was like, oh, okay. Do you want to do an interview? And he's like, sure. So I put up the post, and there's 195 people that want to be part of the interview.
Yeah.
And I'm still blown out of the water, because I remember when I would get like 10 comments on my personal post and it'd be jumping up and down, right? And now there's like 200 strangers saying, I want to watch your interview. But it's been absolutely nuts. I think I figured out like the Facebook group growth engine, or whatever like we're calling this now. I'm working on the details with Andrew. Like, we're going to start doing seminars and in-person events and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's nuts. And there are people that I have signed as like Facebook ads clients specifically because of the group. Like, they've been seeing it, interacting with me, and they're like, Jeff, can you do my ads? I was like, sure. What do you do? They're like, we're a dentist company with like 8 locations. I was like, what? Like, no, you're Alex. What are you talking about? He's like, no, I'm seriously a dentist. I was like, okay, well, you got it. Let's do it. And like, what the weirdest part is, like, I look at like the group insights. Like, if you're admin of a group, you can see like its growth. Yeah. And like, I'm going back to March when I had 0 people. And I'm saying this like half bragging, but half like I still don't understand. Yeah. Right? Like, it's been a fucking line like this, right? All the way through. And I genuinely believe that if you are starting your Facebook ads journey, you should have a group probably 6 to 9 months in. If you're seeing some success for your agency, have a group, because your learning will accelerate. You can do like interview series, you can do customer research, you can do mini modules and turn this into like a dollar thing that makes a lot of sense. but it's absolutely nuts. And I'll be connected to like the strangest people that like are absolutely insane on their own journey. Like there's one guy who like sold his web design agency for $1.3 million. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like I barely sold a website for like $1,000. You can't do like 1,000 websites. He's like, no, I only did 5 and I charge $100,000 each. And I was like, what? How do you charge $100,000 for a website? That doesn't make any sense. He's like, yeah, man, it happens all the time. I was like, okay, let's talk, right?
Yeah.
So it's been absolutely nuts. Like I ended up getting in touch with a guy named G-Day, who's originally part of like FIA Figure Eight Clients.
Okay.
And like I helped him figure out dentist ads a while ago. He couldn't quite figure it out. Turns out he's split testing too hard. And he disappeared for like 6 months. He comes back and now the guy's making like what is it? What is 30K a month in figures? That amount per month.
5 figures.
Yeah, 30,000 a month by arbitraging Facebook ads.
Arbitrage. What do you mean?
So he figured out how to run ads to get Facebook ads clients. And he's good at like the sales side and all that, taking all the training, joined Cat Howell's course. And instead of doing the actual contract, he just sells it. So like he'll sign somebody to 5K a month and then find a contractor to fill it for 3. So that's his margin. So it doesn't do any work, right? He just does the sales side. And I had no idea that was even an option. I just thought you always had to do your Facebook ads, like me, right? And so like the cool part about like having a group or growing a group is like this interview, things like that, and learning. And even whether it's like Jay Jackson who's watching earlier, he should have an interview series on like people who have drastically changed and transformed their life for the better. He could have an interview series of people who are becoming the next Olympic or Olympia, Mr. Olympia. I don't remember. You know what I'm talking about, right? I grew up when Ronnie.
You're
Coleman,
not that old. Don't go there. You're not that.
no. Coleman, Ronnie.
Yeah, Ronnie Coleman.
Yeah, so that was like my guy. Like when I was like in weightlifting, that was the guy, like lightweight and stuff. And so like it would be super cool if Jay Jackson had his own interview series of people like that, or people who have figured it out or on their way, things like that. And that gets people more excited about buying Jay Jackson's services and Facebook ads, kind of like what you're doing here.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been absolutely nuts. I think like the keys to growing a Facebook group are that
Hold on. Repeat.
We're back. Okay. But I genuinely think that like if you are starting a group, you should be doing, you can hear me right or no?
Yeah, let me write this on here just in case someone comes in just for the nuggets.
Just the nuggets. So if you want to start and grow a group, this is the journey that I've been on, and I'm not the expert in it. This is just like a summation of what I've done. You'll want to do customer research. So like, what's your number one problem? And then do an interview about someone who solved that problem. And then you want to do like some like type of training, like free or paid is fine. Mm-hmm. And doing those 3 things, your engagement shoots through the roof. Like when you do that launch post for that interview, you're going to have 200 people commenting saying I'm in, which is like a huge number of comments. Right. When you do customer research, there are people in your group that are on your spectrum purchasing that will tell you the problems they're having. And guess what? You can solve them. And when you're doing the free training, they love you even more. And so like, I'm going to show you this later, like the back end and all this stuff. Yeah. But the comments are like absolutely insane. Like in the last 28 days, following that process that I just mentioned, we're looking at like, no, that's incorrect. Hold on.
60 days.
I have to refresh. Yeah, so like in the past like 30 days, there's been 15,000 comments, and they all fall into one of those 3 buckets. One of them is an interview, right? Just like here. One of them is the customer research, and the other one is the free training or the training itself.
Right.
And because you don't have to worry about being an expert or like the value, blah, 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 just solve people's problems and they'll love you for it. And every single one of the comments, or at least the vast majority, follows one of those 3 buckets. And so if you're thinking about doing a group, you probably should. You can do a pre-group on your personal page, like just treat it as a group, like do the launch, post the interviews, all that, and you can build up that following. And then like one day you throw them all into a group. And I think Facebook wants people in groups, not so much like on pages, right? But for anybody watching this, like the Facebook group has been absolutely amazingly fulfilling, solved and filled in like the missing gaps of my knowledge. And now I get to like, people say hi to me and I don't know who they are. So, whatever. It's super fun. Yeah.
Which one would you, if you had to choose one and just say, this is the one, which one would you choose, the agency or the group?
The agency is what keeps me honest. So like, I would not have any like weight to my words if I didn't have an agency, right? Like I genuinely believe if you want to be a great personal trainer, you should be personal trainer first and then sell books second.
Correct.
And so I think that's what makes people grounded. And I think that's what keeps their trainings like up to speed. And you've met people that are like 6 or 12 months behind Facebook changes. And you're like, you don't have to do that anymore. And immediately when they start talking about seasoning their pixel, you know, they're a year behind, right? Like they're just a year behind. And so
they haven't talked about messenger bots. They're like behind.
Right. Like you're like, something's missing here. And so I think keeping the agency or like having an agency keeps me honest and authentic. And I would choose the agency over the group every time because the agency has allowed me to do a group,
right.
Not the other way around. So things like that. And yeah, so we're going to see what tomorrow's interview is like with Sean O'Connor, who's got like 200 people already scheduled to be like in the interview. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
That kind of idea.
That's pretty sick. So I was when you told me about this thing, I actually started doing it a little bit, and I made it. It's kind of funny because in the marketing space, it's a little easier to charge a little more extra. In the fitness space, it's a little different because there's no direct measurable return on investment. However, I did use your methods to your madness, and my group has gone up. And I have sold more programs based on that without having like stress, which is more important than like most people like try to create like what I did when I first started was I created the whole course.
Yep.
I created a whole course, try to go out and sell it. Nobody wanted to buy it.
Correct.
The way that you're doing it is totally different. And it's so cool because if you haven't read the book Launch for Everybody from Jeff Walker,
I haven't.
You haven't?
Nope.
You're doing what's called a seed launch.
No shit. Okay, that's cool. I'm doing a thing. Awesome.
It's actually in there. It's in his book, and it's like it's called the seed launch. And what you guys are doing, when I saw Andrew doing this and yourself doing this, I was like, dude, this is the seed launch. And I was like, you ask and use the seed launch to just promote your product. And like, it's like literally like exactly what you guys are doing. I'm like, what the heck? I didn't even realize this.
So this is like specific to people in like the fitness space or gym owners or something like that. Like it makes total sense to have a program, and then it makes total sense to have a web version of that program. Like it's going to happen, right? Yeah. The mistake though is saying, I'm going to do a 90-day chest blaster, or like this is 45 days to lose your belly fat or something like that. And like your brain for some reason says you need a thing first and then you're going to go sell it. And that's fine. Go through the motions. I get it. You can't stop it. You're going to build your first thing and then it's going to suck. And then you're going to do the seed launch instead. That's just everyone's journey. And that's what I did with my course. And that's what you do with yours. But for anybody watching the basics of the seed course, you're saying, what's your number one problem? Great. I'm going to build something to solve that. And I'm going to charge you money for it. Are you okay with that? And everybody says yes. And then you end up having like live one-on-one sessions or live like hour-long sessions with like the 5 people that bought the beta tickets or something.
Yep.
Put it up on a store and then you bundle it and then that's your course. And people love it because you're not like value stuffing or like there's so much value. Shut up. I don't care about value. I just want my problem solved. And so you end up with a course that specifically solves people's problems that already has tickets sold. And so that's like, once I made that switch, and I didn't know that was a seed launch. So that's like super awesome. Numbers are like tick, tick, tick all the way up. So it's super fun.
It's super cool. I thought that was amazing when I first heard you when I first did it and I got this book because someone had read, I think it was JR recommended it to me. He's like, hey, go get this book. It's pretty cool. And then I heard Steve Larson talk about it again. And I'm like, all right, let me go get it. Yeah. And so I got it and he was talking about like a video series launch. And I actually did this primarily first and foremost to sell high ticket coaching packages. His launch, his 4 video series launch style. And I've actually done it to sell high ticket programs. In fact, that's how I made my first $7,000 online as a personal trainer, was selling high ticket programs like this. And then I'm like, yeah, I know, but that was kind of hard. That was kind of hard to do all that. And then he talks about the seed launch and I'm like, man, I've never seen it done like outside. And then I'm like, no, Jeff and Andrew are doing it.
Yeah.
I'm like, no way. They're doing it. So I just thought that was super funny. So you should probably get it just so you can kind of see like, oh crap, I'm doing this already.
Like, yeah, it's a thing. So
Yeah, it's
for
right.
anybody watching this, like one of the challenges with a group is you don't know what to post, when to
Right.
post, and how to keep people moving and engaging. But the cool side effect of a seed launch, I guess that's what it's called, is huge engagement. Like you do a customer research post, 300 people respond. They're writing your live training. Comment you want the training. You got it. So I got 600 comments.
Right.
You do an interview, 300 more comments. So you got like almost 1,000 comments. And when you get a lot of comments, that's Facebook saying you've got engagement. And we got a lot of engagement, Facebook will send more people to you.
Right.
And so I didn't know that was like the infrastructure, but that's the basic idea. That's the building blocks of a group. And it's absolutely worked. And it's been a crazy, crazy, crazy journey.
So like, if I had to just kind of ballpark, if you had to ballpark it income wise, is the agency outpacing the group?
The
In terms
agency makes more money than the group, but it's a lot more work, effort, energy.
Okay.
And so we're doing a masterclass, and we sold 40 tickets at $97 each, so you can do the math, right?
Yeah.
And the cool part is like once you do a masterclass, that's repeatable, right?
Right.
Once you do the onboarding masterclass, you don't.
There's
have
no
to
delivery needed, right?
correct. The downside of an agency, which is like normal for any business, is that you have to keep delivering, have to keep doing all that. But the agency will always be bigger than like the courses, right, or the Facebook group. That's just how how it fits in my bones. But whatever spins off from the agency goes into like the mini modules and stuff.
Right.
And the really cool part is you get to do like team teachings or joint ventures and stuff like that, and you get to share stuff. And it's like, I think it's like the natural evolution. Like I got Sam Ovens' course, and he talks about like, you're climbing that ladder. And like there's level 1, which is you do it for somebody. Level 2, you do it with somebody. Level 3, you teach somebody. Level 4 is you teach everybody. And that's like Jeff's way of communicating it. There's more steps, but like you keep climbing all the way up.
Right.
And it just kind of works. So it's super fun. I really, really enjoy it.
That's really cool, man. So do you have any closing thoughts, ideas, opinions, thoughts that you want to kind of share along with the group or with me to help with anything that we covered here today?
All right. So let's look at your group. Do you want to do this now?
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, the best way to do it is to do it here, right? Okay,
Yeah.
Let's take a look at it.
All right. So Facebook ads, marketing and sales fitness for.
So, okay, so let me pull it up because you're like doing a Facebook group audit right now. So this would be great for people to get like a masterclass in less than 8 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. So the first thing that I see is like you've got like the Rocky photo, right?
Okay.
But what I really want is something that stands out more, like almost symbolic or architectural or archetypal like I've got a butt, agency scaling secrets, right? I don't think you need a butt. You need something that stands out hugely and immensely. I understand that's what you were going for, but what I like to do is I like to screenshot that and then put it next to the suggested groups. And does it stand out? Yes, no. If it does not stand out, throw it out and do something different.
Say it again.
So the most easiest, best way to get people in your group is by having a banner that stands out correctly. And so if I'm ever really not sure if my banner stands out, I will just like drag it and put it next to the suggested groups and just like see how it looks. And if the banner is obsessively large and loud, yes. If you don't go, wow, that stands out, do a different one. The second thing is that there should be some like text or logo of like what the group is and what it will help you achieve. Like agency scaling secrets, quit working your butt off. Cool, right?
Right.
Facebook ads for marketing and sales funnels, Facebook ads for fitness trainers. Cool. How to get your first 15 online customers in 90 days or less, something like that, right? The second thing is we should probably be doing customer research, which you've done before. What's your number one thing, right? So what's your number one problem, goal, fear, result, things like that. I do it every Monday without like intention of having a product in line, just do it every Monday. People will tell you problems that you need solving. So now you've got customer research. The second thing is by doing, let's see. Here we go. The second thing we should be doing is, no, wait, let me look. Here we go.
Okay, so maybe the question is it should you shut it down? Like when should you shut down a group and say like this is it? Like you should just do a different thing entirely.
It's pretty rare actually. So like Nikki Van de Sanden of the Influencers Facebook group, like her group was Like she just couldn't have she didn't have the managerial capacity. Like she goes to school and just didn't have the time, effort, energy. So her group had like zero interaction for 60 days. Guess what? It was like, no, you just do a customer research post. She's like kind of ashamed. People will find out. Nope, just do a customer research post. Engagement shoots through the roof. And she launches a thing. People pay, and all of a sudden people want to do interviews with her. She gets stuff off Facebook and on Facebook, like Stuff Just Works. So very rarely does a dead group mean you should close it. It really just means you should be going back to the basics, which involves customer research, launch posts, and doing interviews, and then things along those lines. So off the top of my head, there's 5 things you should be doing to drive the end result you want from your group, aside from the banner. The first is the number one thing. People will tell you right out of the gate. And for example, with like the number one thing, I didn't know that, what is this called? Batwings or something like that?
Bye Batwings.
Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing, right? But if 5 to 10 to 15 people have a bat wing problem, you can have a training to solve that. So like number one problem, have that on Monday. Number 2, ask me anything, lunch and learn. Have a conversation, block out an hour. People get to ask you questions. Doctor, lawyers, accountants do that. Great money maker, great business maker. Facebook ads people do it. It's really, really cool. Keeps you sharp. Number 3 is you should be launching a thing. Whether it's a free training, whether it's a paid training, $15, $97.49, whatever it is, launch a thing. Engagement shoots through the roof. Let buyers be buyers. Just get it done. And whether it's like coaching sessions, group coaching sessions, whether it's PDFs or whether it's intensely like you have to do a lot of work for it, always be launching on Wednesday or always launch every week. Thursday is like a gimme, like by day, like stuff happens, forget about it, no big deal. But Thursday is like your break. Friday is your interview. Sometimes if you've got an interview enough heads up, have your launch post on Thursday for your interview. And the cool part is like comment to be tagged. Now you've got your interview. So Monday is your customer research. Tuesday is your ask me anything, lunch and learn. Wednesday is your launch post. Thursday is your hype post for your interview or like interview launch post. And Friday is your interview. And sometimes you have to double up Friday. So you do like your actual training on a Friday, but you also have that interview like, Monday, the morning and the afternoon type setup, but it's worth it because your engagement shoots through the roof. And I'm just doing those 5 things in my group and my engagement is at like 95%. Like it's such a huge number.
Wow.
And every single day I'm getting like 100 people joining automatically. And the cool part is that everybody kind of eventually hates their group because you have to put all this effort and energy and not making any money with it. But if you're launching a thing, then you get paid to do it and you just feel better about it.
Right.
And the cool part about having the store, which is like all your trainings, is that when people ask dumb questions that you've already answered, not dumb on their part, just like you've answered so many times you think it's dumb, you have 2 options. One is you ignore them or you hate them, or second you say, look, this has already been covered in 90 minutes. Here's everything you get. It's $97. If you hate, I'll refund your money. And that's always been my stance with people asking me questions. And I think I've had like 5 refunds in total, right? Okay, fine, but I've also sold 1,000 of these things, right? So it's definitely worth it. And so if you are in the Facebook ads space when it comes to like fitness trainers or gym owners or something like that, go down your Facebook ads journey, understand that process, but then have a Facebook group because it's very much like whatever gets thrown out from your agency has to go somewhere. And either like you lose that knowledge or you wish you remembered it, or you get to encapsulate it in a group and teach it. And if you just did those 5 things, and I mean, how long does that take? Like 15 minutes of an alarm and it just runs. And then all of a sudden your engagement is going to be ding, 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 ding all the way up pretty darn quickly.
Wow. That's like a whole hour's worth training in like 5 minutes.
Yeah. Like after this, like I've got like a 15, 20-minute session, but I'll show you the back end and what I'm doing. And you're going to be in a position where you go like, oh my effing God. Like I had no idea that like the universe is supposed to line up this way. And it's really, really cool seeing like every spike I've ever had of engagement shooting through the roof has been a launch post, an interview, or an AMA or something like that. And so it's gotten to a point where I'm convinced all my engagement, all my growth is simply because of those 5 things. Everything else is like follow or like leftovers. So I'll show you later on, but it's exciting. I think it's cool.
Yeah, that's super exciting. Holy smokes.
Yep.
Holy smokes. I might have to help you out with creating your first webinar.
Yes, you do. Number 1. And number 2, I feel like I should have a 6-pack, but it's not there. You know what I mean? It's just like it's hiding. So
yeah.
It would be nice if you could solve that problem. But
that problem has been solved. $97. I'm just playing with you. But no, man, I've had an amazing time with you for the last hour we've spent, and I just wanted to close it off and to let you know I appreciate what you've been doing for people.
Yeah.
What you've been doing for businesses and what you did for me. And I just got to say, you're just putting a big chunk of like change in the world, and you're making a dent. And so it's like, I think it's amazing. And I just wanted to honor you for that. And with that being said, we're going to jump off here, guys. Let us know in the comments. Make sure to hashtag after party. If you're coming in after and watching this particular training, hope we over delivered. I know Jeff did for me, so I hope it could be for you as well.
Very
so
cool.
With that being said, see y'all later.
Bye.